Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Yep, we'll get started in just a minute. Thank you all for being here on time. Very good stuff. Let me quickly close this window here. All right. Let's get started. It's already a couple of minutes past the top of the hour. Good morning, everybody. This is our Set the Market morning show. If you're here for the first time, welcome. We do this morning show Monday through Thursday, and what our focus always is to get through the top couple of ideas that we want to focus on for the day. As always, if you guys have any questions, please let us know. Please give us a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. That's important so you can stay up to date. Now, obviously, this morning we have some headlines, and I'd like to address those first. That's number one. Number two, I want to talk about the options that are now active or should become active today on the Bitcoin ETFs like IBIT. If you are an Inner Circle member, we will meet in 15 minutes from now, and in our weekly member session, we'll talk about our updated price targets on Coinbase, on IBIT, and a new Coinbase options trade. That's all coming up in 15 minutes in the Inner Circle member session. But now, let's first talk about the news from this morning, because it is important, and I think it's foreshadowing of some of the volatility that we're likely to see going forward. So first of all, what's been happening this morning, and we'll look at uranium as well. That's another thing I'd like to look at. But what's been happening this morning is really best seen through the lens of the currency markets. And the currency markets this morning have been exceptionally volatile. So this is the dollar index. And quite remarkably, we are still seeing a sort of flight to safety, if you will, every time you get a headline like we have this morning. Now, if you're wondering what the hell is the headline I'm talking about, we saw or heard that that Ukraine apparently used U.S. long-range missiles or something like that inside of Russia, and that is a big no-no on in terms of Russia's stance. They've updated their sort of protocol to use nuclear weapons and so on and so forth, and that's spooking the markets. If you're just waking up and you're looking at this, there's been a lot of trades. If you're a Vertical X Pro member, I posted a couple of or at least one chart. I've been very busy trading actually futures this morning already for the past few hours. There's been a lot going on. It's a very profitable venture when you see this kind of volatility. But the point is, we're seeing mixed signals in the currency markets. So the dollar had a big rally this morning, and then it sold off. The best way to look at that is to look at the euro-dollar currency pair. So you can see this through this little chart here. You can see we had a huge sell-off in the euro and then a big rally. So we're kind of, if you're just waking up, it's like, what happened? Nothing even happened. Well, a lot happened, actually. And I think more importantly, we're seeing a flight to safety. So if you think about, not even the Fed could get the rates to go lower. What is helping rates to go lower this morning, and that's this chart here, that's 10-year yields. You can see that they are coming off. The reason I'm talking about this, and the reason why I think most people should care, is because I do think this is going to be something of a foreshadowing of more things to come. Not specifically this headline geopolitically, but just more volatility. And I was just had long conversations yesterday with clients and just people in our peers. And I am preparing for a very, very big trading year next year. Already we're seeing fantastic opportunities because the past, let's say 5+ years have not been trading years outside of maybe 2022. They've been trend following years. And I'm going to start talking a lot more about this because I think most people have forgotten what trading is, and they're mistaking it with just blindly buying the dip. That's not trading. That's essentially hoping that the trend continues. It's trend following, right? And that's fine. That works very well when it works, but that's not trading, right? There's a trading is when things are all over the place. And I think we're going to have that kind of a market this coming year. It's already happening. I would expect this to start to slow down as we start heading towards the middle part of December. I do think we'll see another rally between here and year end, unless things like headlines like this morning become more intense, which I just don't know, right? I wish I could give you an idea, but I do not know. I find it odd what happened this morning in terms of, sort of this even being allowed, but who knows? I honestly I don't want to play geopolitics because I don't know, but I see the markets reacting in more volatile fashion. One thing that we've been talking about a lot, and it goes into the inflation theme, and I don't know how many of you guys believe in that higher inflation for longer, but it's a huge theme of ours. Also over at Blue Marlin Advisors, where we actually manage a portfolio that's meant to benefit from higher inflation for longer. I think a lot of people are going to wake up to that too late, but we do our best to educate people. But uranium. So this is just one thing, and I believe uranium futures are up again this morning. But yesterday, the URA ETF was up 5.25%, and I would encourage everyone to educate yourself on the higher inflation for longer, and what that means. Uranium is one way of playing it. There's a lot of reasons for this. If we're going to have higher inflation for longer, one of the reasons is because we have a insatiable demand for energy. Uranium is one of them. This morning and yesterday, uranium wasn't up because of that. That's geopolitically driven, but it plays into the same broader theme. So URA as an ETF, these things are volatile, right? I'm not sure I want to trade them too much. They're more of an allocation for now. So that's one thing that I think is really important to focus on. So again, expect a much more of a trading year going forward. Don't mistake trend following for trading. I think that's what a lot of people have fallen, and we see what a lot of people do. I talk to a lot of people. My team talks to a lot of people every single day, and the vast majority of our client base is essentially using what's called low volatility strategies. They're not really aware of that. They're either selling options very short dated, or or buying short dated calls, or all of those are short vol strategies. It's difficult to explain that to people until they see the environment change and they start losing money, a lot of money for 6 months. But ultimately, I'm trying to keep people ahead of that. And I really think 2025 is going to be very different. There's also big cycles. Like if you look at like 20, 30 year cycles that are all coming down on about the second quarter or sort of middle point of 2025 when things are going to start changing, and we start moving into a higher volatility environment. And it's going to be painful for a lot of people, but I'm trying to prepare people that's going to be a trading year starting next year. It's already now, but that requires a completely different mindset, and the trend following as such. Your favorite tech stocks is probably not going to work anymore, and all goes into the higher inflation for longer theme. So that's that. The last thing I want to quickly touch on is on Bitcoin. And this morning, actually, Bitcoin, I believe it made a fresh all-time high marginally, then quickly backed off as we had more headlines come out, all this latest geopolitical tension escalation. But IBIT and I believe some of the other Bitcoin ETFs are now, this morning, I think, ready to start trading options. Let me repeat that. IBIT and some of the other Bitcoin ETFs, I think this morning, they're listed now. I was looking at over on the Bloomberg terminal and some other places, the options are listed. However, as a warning, I want to make sure that everyone understands that today is probably not the day to start trading options on those things. Why? They're going to be crazy volatile. They're going to be crappy liquidity. I'm going to give this at least a few weeks and then see where the liquidity falls. I actually do expect liquidity to become pretty good quicker than in other products on these things because of the insatiable demand for it. But I really want to give this time. So if you're now sitting there antsy to start trading options on these Bitcoin ETFs, my suggestion through the lens of education is to give this time, because it's going to take time for liquidity to start becoming, being at a respectable sort of level. So that is that. So here we are. What are we at? Minute 13 or so, minute 12, 13, 14. I'm happy to stick around another minute or so. If you are an Inner Circle member, we're going to meet you over there in about 8 minutes, and we're going to start going through our new updated price targets this morning in IBIT, so IA Bitcoin, Coinbase, and also we're going to go into more detail on our new Coinbase trade that we are sending out as the trade of the day this morning. So again, any questions, let us know quickly. Otherwise, please do give us some thumbs up, please do subscribe to the channel. It helps you be aware and updated in real time when we do these sessions. We're going to do a lot more. Pop-up sessions starting, if not this week, next week, where we're going to go live at very short notice. There's so much going on and so much opportunity. So please stay tuned, subscribe, and thumbs up, and we'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Again, if you're an Inner Circle member, we'll see you in about 6 or 7 minutes, and we'll go through our price targets and the new Coinbase trade. See you guys over there.